Hey folks, Dean here. It is vlog day 5 and it is Sunday, May 3rd. Hope everyone has had a good weekend, as good as it can be. And let's just dive right into it. So today I wanted to talk about a few things that I've done during COVID for the first time. And I listened to, I'm about halfway into the first episode of Brene Brown's podcast, and she talks about FFTs, which are first effing time doing something. And so I thought, hey, that's a pretty neat idea. I'm going to share some of the things that I've done for the first effing time during COVID. And one of the benefits has actually been the amount of cooking at home. My wife and I are huge fans of going out to eat, and we love doing that. And first world problem, but that's been something that we've been bummed about, is not being able to go out and wine and dine with family, friends, and just go out to eat. So, but on the flip side of the coin, it has, definitely been great to be eating at home and cooking more recipes at home. And so I'd like to recommend, I bought my wife the cookbook called Fresh Food Full Hearts, and it is by Jillian Harris and Tori Wezer. I might be pronouncing that last name wrong. I apologize. But Jillian Harris was host of Love It or List It Vancouver, and she actually lives here in the Okanagan. And so anyways, we've cooked a number of recipes from their cookbook, and it's great because we live in the Okanagan. Definitely don't have to live in the Okanagan to cook some of her recipes, but it is so good. We were cooking a lot of Oh She Glows recipes, which that is actually a fantastic app. I think it's, I don't know, $5-6 or whatever, and it's vegan recipes, but you would never know it. They're absolutely delicious. So highly recommend checking out those couple of cookbooks. And then we've also checked out FreshLiving.com, and I'll put a link to all this stuff in the description. But FreshLiving.com is also Tori Wezer, I believe. That's like her website, and she's an amazing cook, and just absolutely love the recipes. Some off the top of my head that I cooked for the first time over the last few weeks have been potato crusted halibut, which is amazing. Just like a kale Caesar salad with like homemade Caesar salad dressing. It's delicious. What else? There has been shakshuka, which is a delicious breakfast that's actually really easy to make. Don't get intimidated by the name. It's very yummy and quite easy to make. Paella. Never cooked paella before, but that turned out really good with a lot of seafood in it. It was delicious. Some salmon recipes, applesauce, homemade applesauce, homemade spaghetti sauce. What else? Oh, my wife's a huge fan of Eggs Benedict, so I made West Coast inspired Eggs Benedict for her birthday not long ago. That turned out delicious. Some pretty fancy stuff that I was intimidated by. Actually, we just made today for dinner. We're gonna have leftovers for the next few days. Breakfast enchiladas, and it is delicious. It's a longer recipe to make, so make sure you have time, but it is really, really good. Highly recommend all those things, but yeah, delicious recipes. And so I don't know, I've just learned a lot more. I feel like my cooking game has increased over this time, which is great. Another second thing that I want to point out that I've really enjoyed is I've read more. So I typically read a little bit before bed each night, or I try to. And I just finished this book here, Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. And I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It is by Yuval Noah Harari, and absolute mind-blowing book. Just pick it up and read it. There's so many parts in this book that I just had to put. It was like a book drop, not a mic drop moment. And just my mind exploded with just like, damn, he worded that so well. And it's a brief history of humankind, and he writes so objectively. The best way I could describe this book is like if an alien landed on the planet and wanted to know about humans in an objective way, they would read this book. And it is just so well written. I don't feel like there was a lot of like over the head moments, but there was just a lot of introspective, thought-provoking, just brilliantly written moments. It's so good. I can't recommend this book enough. This has been my most recommended book of 2019, and will definitely be in 2020 as well. And I'm currently reading his second book, which is Homo Deus, and just started that one, so I'm super excited to have a second book of his to read. It's amazing. It's amazing. So highly encourage you to check out this book. And then the second book that I just finished reading, that took me a few months to read, is called The Proximity Paradox. And it is by Alex Verrecchio and Kirsten May. And I worked alongside Alex and Kirsten actually in Winnipeg. They are co-founders of a marketing agency called Uphouse, and they were absolutely amazing to work with. And they just came out with this book last month. It launched, and they were supposed to have a book launch, and COVID happened, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what they did for the physical book launch, but it's available in stores and on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description as well to that book. But it is a brilliant book, and The Proximity Paradox is basically when you are looking at a problem, sometimes you get tunnel vision and you're not able to see solutions or the way around things, or your creativity is paralyzed by something called the proximity paradox, and you're too close to the problem. And so sometimes if, say, you've been like head down in the books on something, whatever it is, and you've been rattling on this issue for a long time, you go out, say, for a cup of coffee with a friend, and your friend is able to just like that pull up some solution that maybe is totally out of the realm of what you have thought of, but makes sense and is a really great solution. And the way that they are able to do that is because they are completely removed from all of the context and sometimes able to see right through to a possible solution. It's a brilliant concept for a book, and I'm so glad that it's been written, and it's something that's been in the back of my mind quite a lot lately, actually, with COVID. I know they didn't write this with that in mind, but I've actually applied it to COVID quite a bit, and just thinking, what is my proximity paradox to X, Y, Z in how I'm dealing with certain things related to COVID. And it is, I think, just a brilliant concept that should be kept in the top of your mind with a lot of different things. And they talk about and provide many solutions and ideas that organizations can use to foster and encourage creativity and not be paralyzed by the proximity paradox. And they are just absolute, I think, genius creatives, and highly recommend this book. So feel free to check it out in stores. And I actually also recorded an episode with Kirsten for my podcast a couple months ago before COVID broke out, and am almost done editing. It has been something that has been irking in the back of my mind. I just need to get it done. So Kirsten, I apologize it's taken this long. It's been a wild few months since we recorded, and I will make it a priority to get it out there so that people can listen as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience and for your time, and it was a really enjoyable conversation, so stay tuned for that. But definitely check it out, Proximity Paradox, how to create distance from business as usual and do something truly innovative. It's a good one. What else do I have here? So yeah, reading. Those are a couple books that I've read over the last short period of time. And I also want to talk about, I've failed a lot more over the last couple months. More than usual. And I think we grow up in school and society, and we're kind of programmed to avoid failure, but talk to any successful business person and they encourage failing more and more. Obviously, you want to mitigate your risk in that whichever failure you experience, but that's how you learn, is through failing, and it can actually be beneficial in many, many ways. So ways that I have failed, I don't know, just trying to juggle priorities. Honestly, I find that's the hardest, most difficult thing with starting a business, getting involved with PACA and ArtsCo, and I've reached out to someone else who I'm working with that I will share in another video on supporting their business getting up and running and doing some web design and marketing and social media, just overall online strategies. And then just trying to balance all of that amidst what do I need to do to take care of myself every day? What do I need to do to make sure that me and my wife are doing what we need to do day in, regular responsibilities, and then everything else as well. So I feel like there's just been a lot of failing on the juggling of everything, but it's part of the process. And I know now is a good time to fail lots, because you can learn and grow as an individual. So I encourage you to go out, start something new that you haven't done before, and fail at it. And who cares what other people think? Just go out and do it for yourself, and see where that takes you. And then the last point that I want to end on is actually, I just want to highlight that I think it's important to take this time to feel what you've been burying. And what I mean by that is, I think that a lot of people have been going through their day-to-day routine, and maybe it's been masking or hiding underlying feelings or desires or wants in your life. And this could be many different things, but I think a lot of people have been forced to hit pause on their life, and they're thinking of questions like, what's the point? What am I doing? Why was I doing that? What should I be doing? What do I want? What do I actually want? How do I want to spend my time moving forward? And that's good. I think you should lean into that more. I think if feelings are cropping up right now, I think you should really lean into those and peel away those layers and discover why you are feeling those. You got time. You kind of got a gift of time right now to be able to lean into those. So I highly encourage you to do so. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So just a quick review of those things. Things I've done. Sorry, notification popped up on my phone there. Things I've done during COVID, just like FFTs, first step in times, cooking a lot. Jillian Harris and Tori Weser, Fresh Food, Full Hearts, definitely check them out. Oshi Glow's amazing cookbook, and the Oshi Glow's app is also really good. And then also check out freshliving.com, and then read more. I highly recommend Sapiens and the Proximity Paradox. And then fail more. It's definitely a time for failing and learning and growing. So go out and try something new. And then lastly, feel what you've been burying. And that is it. That's my wrap up for today. So thank you guys for making it to this time frame. Feel free to comment in the section below. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll also be sharing this on my blog as well. You can head over there at www.simpletounderstand.com. And then I'll also be sharing this on LinkedIn as well. So hello everyone on LinkedIn. Hope you guys have a great week ahead of you, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Peace.